Hi folks, this is Volker with the Gearhead Depot, as you see above. If you don't know me, you can look around here and find other videos from my channel and other unboxings and stories and footage that you can enjoy. But at first, let's roll the intro. Yeah, today we're gonna have another unboxing which is concentrating on electrical equipment, electronical equipment which will be in my truck, which will make the driving and monitoring the vital functions very convenient, and which will make the vehicle in general safe and everything working nice for a long time. This is the thing that you should do when you build up a new vehicle. Just change out all old electrical systems, because wiring can get brittle and catch on fire, and you don't want that if you spend really much money in your precious project. You don't want to get it quitting on the little things that you didn't renew. This here is a wiring harness from Ron Francis Wireworks. I already had one installed in the truck in 2004. I bought this. The system will stay the same, but I decided to put in all new wires because there are much more this time. The general fuse box will stay the same because it's still actually sold today, and it is a very good system. It has relays already built into it, it has the flashers, and it has 4 so-named selector circuit fuses where you can get 2 different kinds of power. The one power is consistent and the other power is key on power only, and you just have to put the fuses in another location, and so you have your circuits hot every time or all time, or hot with the ignition on. And yeah, now we're gonna look at it. This is a very nice made piece, internal wired already, pre-wired. You have all the names of the circuits printed on here. It is very easy to get the wires to, because you just have to loosen one screw and stick it in and just tighten it up again, and you're done. It has modern fuses and enough circuits for every thing you need, including electric windows, AC, electric locks, and whatever you want. All the things you might want to have, including electric fans for your cooling system, and an electric fuel pump for your injection system, which I will have in my truck. Here are all the new wires, which I just told the folks at Ron Francis what I have for what system I use, and it has a number. When I bought it in 2004, it has a serial number, and I just gave them the serial number and what I wanted to have, and they sent me a complete set of new wiring, labeled and with description within, for every circuit I want to have, including double headlights and fuel pump and backup light wiring and main wiring, including a stud where you can get all the circuits together for the starter, the alternator, and the ignition system. So you don't have to use some old and brittle or burned up stuff that will get you dangerous situations down the road, and so everything will be safe and sound. These wires are pretty nice. They are labeled every few inches and in different colors relating to the OEGM color codes. You can, if you pull out a wire somewhere because you're looking for a potential problem or for a problem, you can see the wire is printed with the circuit name on it. And if you have done it right while installing all that, you can just trace the wire and find the fault. And this is quite nice. In 2004, when I bought this wasn't standard. This was quite new. And in today's wiring systems, whether you buy American auto wire or painless wiring, it is pretty much standard to have this. So, all in all, a really nice kit, and the price is okay. Some folks don't consider the price for the little things, and it adds up and they skip some parts. But I think these parts, they are more necessary to get you down the road safe. This is the wiring part. And now we come to the good stuff. By the way, excuse me for the little Honda here. We usually just do old-timers or pickup trucks, V8 cars and trucks. This is my buddy's Honda, and it is quite a nice piece. Built in 1990 with only 54,000 kilometers on it. First-hand car. Absolutely mint, safe and sound and nice. It's just standing here for, I don't know the word again. It's just put in here for safety and to tuck it away from weather and bad influences. So, now to the next. This, dear folks, is the original equipment cockpit instrumentation, and it is in good shape. Has all the functions. It even has a clock, which, by the way, didn't work for the last 12 years. It's still 6 p.m. since then. It shows only 20,094 original miles since last restoration, and yeah, we just pulled it apart and make everything new and nice. But this is past. The future, we'll compare it later. The future is in this box. The company, Dakota Digital, makes, I think, and it's just my opinion, but I think they make the world's best and finest electronics for cars and trucks and motorcycles, and they have a real nice system. They did the digital dashes for very long, got into deep to make stock-looking instrumentation with all the twists and all the features you can just imagine, and it's all digital. You don't have to do wiring in the back of this cockpit. You just plug in one wire or one little harness that's going to a box that gets all the information, and you can connect that box with almost endless amounts of interface parts that are good for everything you want to need and might want to install. There's really nice made wiring parts, and this is the RetroTech control box, where you put in all the input from the sensors, from the interface modules, and you can just plug one wire to this unit and you can see all the info you want. That might include temperatures from exhaust gas, transmission, engine. That might include a GPS speedometer and tech and time, miles, kilometers. This one is converted to kilometers. That's a special feature for us Europeans, and it is just gorgeous. Unfortunately, I can only show you working how it looks when working and with lights on when it's installed in the truck later, but it's gonna be awesome. Just the pointers alone and the fascia and looks so cool and so precise, and it matches all the fonts on the old style, on the original style. You can see that. It's just modernized and fits in the same location without any problems. It's made for that. You can get the bezel for that, and it looks like a stock unit. So here I have some modules for that thing, which I just found useful. This is a gear indication sender, which will show you in which gear you are with the automatic transmission, and it shows in the display, in this little TFT display, and you can custom make that to which side you want to have that, and it shows you the gear, so you don't need the mechanical gear lever, which is connected to the steering column, and oftentimes these just don't work, and later it will just show digitally in which gear you are driving. And there are other modules here. One is oh, this is very cool. This is the Dakota Digital Holley injection interface. You can plug this in your Terminator, Terminator X, and Sniper injection system from Holley, and it converts the data so that you just plug in one little harness, and you can read all the data from your injection system on your Dakota Digital tag system. And this is really cool stuff. And it will make getting the data very, very easy, because you don't have to install multiple sending units for water temperature, for oil pressure, or rounds per minute, and stuff like that. You just don't have to install that twice. Just one sender gets to the Holley unit, and the Holley unit transfers the data through the BIM module to the display here. And you're done with very less work. So here's a dimmer. This is also a very nice module add-on to this. It's the retained accessory power. And you see all the modules look very much the same. It's just one system. And with this module, you can get all the modern conveniences of a newer car, which will be, for example, the radio will stay on after you pull the key out the ignition, and for a pre-programmed amount of time, and then it will shut off. And it will also detect when your battery voltage is below 12 volts, so it will shut off all accessories. And the next thing is you can program these times you want to have that. You can program a coming home light, you can program a leaving light, you can program the dimmer of the interior lights, and you can get that together with a door contact. So when you open the door, every accessory shuts off. And this is a really nice feature. I love that. And that will be fun to have an old truck, which all the modern conveniences of my 2007 and newer Tahoe I'm driving daily, that I enjoy these features very much. So this module is the fan control. Oh, this is a cool too. And next thing you see, a module. This even has a little display which shows the voltage, and this is for the cooling fans. You can program the starting and ending time or temperature when the fan should turn on and turn off. You can program it for one fan with 2 speeds, or 2 fans, or whatever you need to keep your precious engine cool. And this is also programmable. This has a AC request, which means when you turn on the AC system, one fan or both fans turn on automatically with a flick of the AC switch. And this is a nice and cool feature also. And I'm pretty bummed and stoked that I have these, and they're not exactly cheap, but it is just, yeah, it's just so cool stuff that I can't live without that. Here we have fan relays, separate fan relays. We have a fan relay on the main fuse box, but I think I will work with more relays for the fans, for the lights. So the load is not on the main harness, it's just the triggers for the relays. And this makes the electric system in the truck so much more safe and reliable. And it's just a good thing to have for problems. You don't have to look for problems in the whole wiring harness. It's mostly the way to the relays, and these are built in someplace exposed, so you can reach them without pulling too much parts apart, and have them near, and you can look at it and find the faults mostly, which I don't have ever to. I hope I will never have to do that. Yeah, and you see my nice stumbling features back in today also. This is Dakota Digital stuff. I love that. But there's more. Another company that's building really cool custom stuff for all kinds of trucks and cars, and it specializes in many things. And recently they put out parts for the square body trucks, which I'm very happy about. And it is such a easy thing, someone consider overlooked thing. It's the windshield wipers. And if you have a square body truck or an old truck or an old car, you know that the windshield wipers, they get old. The wiper motors go out, and they have these pain in the butt spray squirt system, which works with vacuum lines and part electrical, and the switches go out and break, and the lines go bad. And yeah, Detroit Speed, which is the company that makes this, I don't think they need big introductions, because they're on the market for very long. They specialize in suspension parts and race parts and really high-end cool builds. Yeah, and they took a square body pickup truck, and because one of their employees has one, and he complained very often that his windshield wipers won't work, and because of that he couldn't come to work. So the engineers said, okay, we need you at work here, so invent something to make it better. So he did, and they came out with a feature that is really cool. They did a windshield wiper motor which will be installed in the same place that the original one is, but it is really compact. Unfortunately, I just have the old thing not in reach, so we couldn't compare, but it is really more of a handful bigger, and it's a really nice piece. Brand new bracket, and everything is really tight and nice. Nice plug here, so that's another weak point of the old windshield wiper motors. They had electrical problems because the plugs went out, and that's a thing of the past with this part. Here's the control box for the system, and oh, very cool. My buddy Michael has the old windshield wiper motor to compare, and look at this system. You just can see the difference. It is massive, the old one, and the plug's bad, and even though this thing looks pretty good, but it's because I painted it when I built it in last time. So it is not junk yet, but compared, it is junk to this one. So yeah, the harness is a really nice piece, and all the features it has. At first they made a faceplate for the original switch that sits in the dash below. It's below the dash, and usually it's a switch that gets that works from left to right, and it only has, I think, 3 speeds. It's 1 intermittent in the newer ones, and 1 low and 1 high speed. And then you can press the switch for the windshield washer, which worked of a vacuum pump of the wiper motor. And that's a thing of the past, as I said. You just have a brand new switch, which is a real neat piece with a pre-made harness and a little plug, which plugs into the control module. And this thing comes through here, and you have 7 different speeds with this plug, and low and high speed wipers. And you press this one lightly. I don't know if you hear that click. It is a micro switch that's turning on the windshield washer pump, which I also got with this system. And it has a wonderful, nice new harness, which the counterpart is somewhere in here, this one. And this is just very cool stuff. Built-in relay that is tested and said okay. All the harness you need for the motor, and they even included a grommet already, which this connector will go to the motor, and this is just out from the firewall. It's really nicely made. Then you have another grommet if you need it, some bolts and little stuff, and a knob, a wiper knob, which is, I thought it was a cheap plastic part, but I failed. This is billet aluminum, made from block of aluminum, and it's really cool. And it's just good, heavy quality for this little part. and I really like it. And I'm really looking forward to putting this in, even though it's a long way to go till I get to do that. Next feature is the plate, which you can see in the dash. It will sit right under here somewhere, and they include, let's see if I find that, they include a little LED light which will be built in next to the switch here. Here's the switch, and in here, in this little hole, there will be an LED light which lights through this plate and then lights just the signal, the sign, the icon. And it's just cool. It's an LED light which you can program and dim. It's all included in here. It's a really cool thing, and the instructions are very cool. They just include everything you need and everything you need to know, and it's really good, really illustrated really good, and written really good, and you can understand what they thought about when they invented this. And I think this is just top of the line stuff, which will be a real fun when I get to use it. Hopefully I won't need wipers at all, because I just want to drive this thing in the summer when the sun is shining and the streets are free of rain, because sliding out with so much power can be dangerous. But okay, just making fun of all that. Yeah, that's it for this unboxing session, I think. Hope I didn't forget anything. But I'm really stoked to have this stuff, and I'm looking forward to installation of all that and getting it into function. And hopefully you'll join me with that later when I get to install all that stuff. So if you haven't, please consider subscribing to my channel and leave a like or a comment, good or bad, doesn't matter. And yeah, see you next time. Have a good day. Your Flocko.